Hello, hello, hello. Angel back one more time. Hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Today we are doing April's, no we're not, we're doing May's intentions, decks and practices. This is my favourite video, I think, of the month that I film because it kind of gives me a bit of I don't want to say list, but I want to say an idea. It gives me a little bit of a structure. I don't like a lot of structure in my practice. I like to be spontaneous. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. But I do like to have a little bit of an idea of where I'm being led to and what I'm feeling drawn to for the month. So, have I rambled enough? Yes, I have. Let's get into it. Now, my intention with this monthly video is always to have all the decks together and all the practices together and all the books together, but that never happens. I'm not that kind of tarot tuber, my brain is too squirrely, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. We're going with the flow, so that's the way this is, that's the way this works. We're starting with the first set of decks I really want to work with this month, in the month of May, which is, or are, the Wild Unknown Tarot and the Connected and Free Alchemist Oracle. This is indie, this is mass market. Found this second hand for about £20. I was most impressed on my super duper second hand shop online. Like the backs, I also purchased the, what's that deck called? The Lumina Tarot? Is that right? That doesn't sound right. I don't recognise that name. Anyway, either way, I purchased that one at the same time. And that might get a look in, but I don't think so. But I think these two are going to work really well together. I'm also wondering if I should bring in the Poesis Oracle as well at the same time. I don't know, but I do really fancy working with these. Now, I was going to say that I tend to choose decks. I usually choose decks to fit certain practices. So obviously I'm working with Dawn Michelle's Weaver practice, and their theme this year is loosely based around fairy tales, very, very loosely. I'm so behind. We're already like, what is it, the 3rd of May, and I haven't even seen what Dawn Michelle's theme is this month. But because it's such a loose theme, fairy tale theme, I feel that I can pretty much use pretty much any deck, to be quite honest. Love this. So so I'm kind of wondering about using these for Dawn Michelle's practice. I don't know. Either way, they're gonna get a looky. They're gonna get a look in, I think, in the month of May. I think I just mentioned the Poesis Oracle. I fancy bringing this in as well. This is the French version. I saw this indie and I was like, oh, I don't want to pay out for the indie price. But then I was on, what's the word, Amazon France, and I saw this and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was out in a French version. And so, I was a bit of a rebel and ordered it because, that's the way I roll. So, yeah, I've translated all the guide words in the guidebook. It's easy just to translate. And also, I find these really intuitive. The images, they really spark my intuition. So I'm just wondering if this might be a pairing. I think I do wish this was either white, black and white, or this one was cream and white, but I don't know if it makes that much difference really. I think it might work anyway. And my initial, I was initially, or I really want to work with this one, and then when I was looking at this one, I was thinking maybe this one's too light, too positive, but I think there's a good balance in this. I think there are, these kind of, not light and dark, I don't want to say that, but not positive and negative either, but just a really good balance, I think. So I think they're going to work together. Do you have any of these decks? And if you do, what do you pair them with? I know the Wild Unknown deck was very, very popular and probably still is very, very popular. I've used it a bit in my practice when I was out and about in nature, connecting with tree energy, because the lines of the artwork reminded me of the bark of the trees, and that worked really, really well. But now I want to work with it this month, and I just wonder if it might slot into Dawn Michelle's practice. We shall see, we shall see. I think there's something here, I really do. I'm intrigued. I want to know more. Okay, let's move on to the next set, or the next pairing of decks. So these are the next pairing, or the next set of decks I want to work with. This is the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic mass market deck. I got this at Christmas, and I also got the super duper, I think it's going to be fantastic, journal, which I really want to work with this month. And then today, literally like 3 hours ago, this one was delivered, and I've been I've been wanting to get this one for a long time. It's been on my wish list, but I think it's quite expensive for I'm assuming mass market deck. But I finally, bit the bullet, pulled the trigger, hit the buy button, and I purchased the Turning Terrestrial Tides Tarot. So this one came this morning. I've got two more, which I'm going to show you in a wee second, that also came this morning, but that's for another practice. So we'll get these done first. And when I was opening this one, looking at it, because obviously I've watched a lot of walkthroughs, because I've been umming and ahhing for so long about this deck. It suddenly made me think of this deck, and I was thinking, I wonder if they will pair nicely together. And I got them out and had a bit of a look, and I think they pair really, really nicely. So I don't know, I haven't worked with them, but I reckon they are going to do the job. I really, really do. This one was on my list to work with this year, to have a bit of a deeper dive with, and I wanted to work with, not specifically for this deck, but Kelly Bear's Practice Tarot Advent, which I haven't gotten to. This year is getting away from me, and other things are like gripping my attention. So I'm going to get back into that. The last Tarot Advent I did was in January, and that was with the Tarot Vampires, Ian Daniels deck, and that was really, really good. I love that. That was an excellent way to start getting to know the deck. Anywho, I've looked through this deck this morning, and I was really impressed with it. Obviously, I knew what the deck looked like, but I just think it's really interesting. Like, we've got the Elder of Tangibles, so that's the King of Pentacles. I'm hoping you can see this. And it says, the true measure of wealth is not in what you have, but what you give. Isn't that beautiful? With strength. I really like that. So we've got the Eight of Pentacles and Judgment. We graduate to bigger and better things, but not without a final report card. Oh, I think this is going to be really, really good to kind of delve deeper into. And pour extra cards around whatever's on this card. I think that's going to be really, really good. I love that. When I got this out this morning, I was really, really excited. I was like, ooh, I can't wait to start jumping into this one. This is the Tower. I love this Tower. With the World, you are your greatest achievement. So it doesn't matter what happens, what is, what ego or what is destroyed around you. It can all be rebuilt. You are your greatest achievement. It's you. You are the main character in your own story. Let's look here. What else we got? We've got the Elder of Pentacles, which I'm assuming is the king here. I haven't double checked that. I need to double check that. And the Ace of Tangibles. Play the long game. I'm going to take a couple more. Stalemate with the Two of Thought, which is obviously the Two of Swords, and we've got the Champion of Wands. I'm assuming that's the Knight. I love this. It looks like a horseshoe, but it's actually a snake. Ooh. We're going to take... Did I say two more? We're going to take two more. Sorry, two more. The Fool. I love this with the bunnies. With the Eight of Emotions. Soften, soften, soften. Open, open. An empty cup means endless possibilities. Oh, I really like that too. Don't carry what you don't need on these new adventures. Make it easy to take the leap by putting the backpack down and just leaping off the cliff without it. You don't need it. You don't need it. It's okay to have an empty cup. If you've got no room in your cup, you can't fill it with anything else. Last one. I'm sorry, I know I just said. I know, I'm sorry, what can I say? If you've been here before, you know this is the drill. Would you like to dance with the Two of Emotions and the Eight of Wands? Oh, I'm actually really, really excited about working with these ones. And I'm actually so excited. I think once I stop filming this video, I might leap into working with them straight away, if I might be so bold. Okay, so that was this pairing. Let's move these back. So I think those are the decks really. Obviously my shadow work deck's going to come in. I think we're going to get into a couple of other practices, and you're going to anyway see a few more decks in this video. Let's get to it. So my work is going to continue this month with this book. This is Unleash Your Shadow Self. This is a book by Kerry Ward, who is the same person that created the Crystal Magic Tarot. The artwork in this book is by, let's just have a look here, Nata Vadana. I hope I said that correctly. Let me just show you some of this artwork. It's gorgeous. I'm not going to find it now. Wait a second. Bear with me. Where's the gorgeous artwork gone? Anyway, this is beautiful. Look at this. It's a workbook to work through your shadow self, and it's got all different exercises in. So it's got, you know, different spreads. It's got Eat Your Enemies, Sunken Treasure, My Story, Life Plots, Dark Tales, Sharpening Exercises, Teeth and Claws, What Hurts, Stored, what did I say, sorry? Stored Shadow Pain. It's got all different things, and so I really want to continue with this month. I'm obviously, you know, shadow work is it's always skulking about there in the shadows, obviously, which is fine. I don't mind that. And for this practice, I would really like to bring these two out. Now, obviously, the Darkwood Tarot, for instance, and the Tarot V is obviously going to get a look in, because, you know, when I start working with shadow work, the facets of self work comes into it, which kind of, you know, those decks automatically come in. But this is the Dark Angels Tarot. This is mass market, and this is the new deck I got, which was a Kickstarter I bagged, and I received it last month. Lilith, Queen of the Night Oracle Grimoire. And I wonder if these two might pair really nicely together. This is a bit more pared back, this artwork, and this feels quite 90s to me, you know, quite goth-like. I love it. It totally fits my aesthetics that I'm feeling, you know, well, basically since September, October last year. So I just wonder if these two might pair really nicely together. I haven't looked at the guidebook for this one particularly very much as yet, and I haven't done any card pulls with it. I think I did one, actually, saying that. I just did it when I first got it, but apart from that, I haven't done anything with it. So I'd like to get it into rotation this month. So we've got Toad with Luck. I transform envy into inspiration, hopping towards the luck meant for me, with the 9 of Wands. We've got Moonstone, emotional balance. I use the Moonstone energy to balance my emotions, calming my anxiety. With Judgment. This is quite interesting with the colour. Synchronicity here. We're just going to do a couple more. Book of Shadows, we've got Secret. I keep and respect my inner secrets and spiritual discoveries, knowing my path is unique, with the 5 of Cups. Now, I haven't tested these two, so I don't know if they're going to work together, but I think having a bit of a work with them, a bit of a playtime might really help. We've got Lilith in Aries, leadership. I can be assertive, seeking growth through collaboration, trust, and releasing impatience, with the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, last one. And then we've got Lilith in Capricorn, recognition. I'm worthy of success. The rewards come the rewards come from my dedication and perseverance, with the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know. I'm hoping that they're going to, you know, sing together. Let me just ask these decks if they want to work together. Does the Dark Angel deck want to work with the Lilith, Queen of the Night Oracle? Does this deck want to work with the Lilith Oracle? We're going to take that one because I feel like a bit of a jumper. Oh dear. Oh dear, that doesn't look very promising, does it? What do we think? I would say it's a no. Do I need to rethink this pairing? That was the card on the bottom. That does not bode well. Yeah, I think I need to rethink this pairing. Okay, back to the drawing board. This is the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot. Let's ask it the same question, shall we? This is a mass market deck, Los Scarabeo, I want to say. I purchased the Dark Angel and this one at the same time, and both get equally as much use because I really enjoy both. I think they're both really good readers. How does the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot feel about working with the Lilith Oracle? What do we think? Please give me a jumper. Okay, well, we're not going to go with the jumper, but I'm feeling a bit drawn to this card, so we're going to go with this one. King of Wands, with stability. I establish a safe home by building on solid ground, free from the need to flee instability. Well, that sounds quite positive, doesn't it? And on the bottom was the Knight of Cups. Well, that sounds a little bit more like it, does it not? Like this forest going on here. Okay, let's have let's have a bit of a flick. Cat with independence. I'm free, curious, and independent. I hold my own space and know when to let others in. With the 9 of Swords. Interesting. I love this tattoo. Couldn't get the word out. Red Lily, sexuality. I'm magnetic and seductive. My energy radiates and I easily draw in what I desire. With the 6 of Wands. Well, that's a bit better, isn't it? We'll do one more. This feels like a bit more of a promising pairing. We've got Cauldron with magic. My psychic powers are a gift. I stir the cauldron of my soul and burn limiting beliefs. with the star. Yeah, that feels much better. That feels much better. Okay, so we're going to go with these ones with the shadow work journal, or workbook, should I say. Very excited about working with this one. I'm not sure about the guidebook. Should we have a quick look? Dare we? Do you have a bit of time? This is going to be a long video and it's supposed to be a short one. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the guidebook quickly. So we've got quite a bit of information at the beginning. We've got a lot of information about Lilith in the beginning and some researched mythology about them, or her. And then we go into the cards. So let's choose 6, which is the red candle for passion. I let the red candle's flame melt away my fears and ignite my dreams and desires of passion. So here we go. We've got the title of the card, and we've got the image. We've got the quote, and then it says, the red candle is used in rituals to awaken courage, desire, sensuality and vitality, while strengthening the connection with our innermost impulses. Lighting its flame invokes the energy to pursue dreams and embrace life with greater passion. It reminds us to reconnect with what truly makes our hearts beat with purpose. In rituals to Lilith, red candles can be offered to evoke passion, representing fire and igniting the strength needed to embrace our true selves. This card reminds you that passion, when nurtured, ignites your heart with purpose and fulfillment. I like that. And then we've got a bit of shadow work here. So we've got it looks like we've got a few more questions maybe to pull cards around or to journal around. So we've got, reflect on how you express your desires and passions. Have you let your passion consume you or suppressed it to maintain control? What would it look like if you let passion flow freely? What steps can you take to reignite passions in your life? Lilith invites you to confront what holds you back and let your passions burn brightly. And then we've got a few keywords at the bottom. I think that's going to be really interesting, and I think these two are looking very, very promising. So that was that. I've got a couple more decks, and then I've got, of course, I've got a couple more practices to talk about. Let's get to the next pairing. Now, before we get to the next pairing, well, I suppose this is a new pairing, actually, saying that. I wanted to talk about my reclaiming or embracing the queen phase of my life, this practice that I spoke about in my latest video, my April favourites video. Now, I went through these decks. I'm not going to show them here, and I even showed this, so I'll link that video in the description box if you haven't seen it, if you want to know a bit more about it. But this is a practice I'm also going to be continuing with, and just to throw a book in the mix at the same time. I was in a meditation with the deity that I'm currently working with, and hopefully will continue working with, a couple of days ago, maybe end of last week, I think. And I was shown this book in the meditation, which I semi-kind of recognised. Now, I've had this book on my shelf for, I don't know, it's got to be like a year and a half, and I purchased it, and I saw it on a YouTuber's channel, and when I saw it and they were speaking about it, I was really interested in it. But then, it's, for some reason, this has ended up in my protection magic section of my books, which I think is because of the pentacle, which makes, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it ended up in the wrong section anyway, on my bookshelf, or on the bookshelf. And when I was shown this in meditation, I was thinking, I've got a book like that reminds me of a book, and I was looking for it, and I was thinking, oh, maybe my deity wants me to up my protection, which kind of makes sense with the next practice I'm going to be speaking about in a wee second. And I was looking on the shelf and pulled this one out, and when I read the back, it was very, very interesting, because this is a book by, let's have a look here, Jane Meredith and Gede Palmer, I want to say. And it says, just to give you a bit of a synopsis here, this is the work and the time is now. Let the adventure begin. The Iron Pentacle is a tool for reawakening to our essential humanity and our sovereign selves. Exploring the themes of sex, pride, self, power and passion, this book invites you to develop magic of the body that sings to the spirit. So this, you're going to join the authors on an intense journey into self-awareness through practices of the reclaiming tradition, where each step leads to self-actualization, authenticity, and potent magic. So I don't know where my brain was when I, pop this book on the shelf with my, protection magic books, but it clearly ended up in the wrong section, and I don't know. This is what I was led to. This is what my deity has led me to. So I feel that this is going to coincide nicely with my reclaiming my queen phase, I'm going to say, and continue working with the Witch's Black Lent sin which was Pride, which I haven't completed yet. So yeah, so that's also on the intentions list, I'm going to say, for May. Should we move on? I think we should. We get into the nitty gritty. Oh, hold on to your hats. The devil, a figure that casts a long shadow of fear and unease. The goat-horned, cloven-hooved trickster who ensnarls us, who whispers lies and words of sabotage in our ears. The devil who waits for us at the crossroads, ready to trade favours for the price of our earthly souls. He who lures, seduces and beckons us to step from the path of good onto the path of evil. Which of course is all fine and dandy, but originally the devil simply meant stumbling block. A genderless figure of a devil was seen as a course correction, something that blocks the wrong way forward, where we're forced to stop and reassess. So this devil is closer to a modern idea of a guardian angel, really. It shepherds you away from that which no longer serves you, sometimes loudly or sometimes gently. The devil challenges us to enter the realms of our shadows, to acknowledge our demons, our addictions, our beliefs, our self-imposed limitations. So when the devil card taps us on the shoulder, it's there to teach us about our self-imposed chains, our mind-forged manacles, as William Blake would put it. The devil card is there to shine a light on those inner demons that haunt our minds with fear and shame. The inner demons that will never release their power over us until we release them from their cages and integrate their darkness into the light. So after a lot of research and contemplation, I've decided to embrace this goat-horned, cloven-hooved scapegoat as a guide this year to help me on my healing journey. So what do you say? Should we get into some of the unexpected detours this devil card has already taken me on this year? Let's do it. So where has that devil card for 2025 been leading me? Well, if you've watched my previous video, my April favourites, you'll know I spoke about these two cards and the epiphany that I came upon with these cards. Now, I feel as though this labyrinth has been quite important, and it's been a bit of an important rabbit that I'm following. And when I was away with a friend, we were at a second-hand shop, and I saw this book laying on the shelf. It was laying flat down, not upright, with all the books in a line. And I saw this labyrinth, and I was like, I wonder what book that is. That's really interesting, because obviously I had already previously, earlier on in the month, pulled these cards. And it's a book in Swedish. It's People and Their Symbols and it's a book by Carl Jung, and purchased this book. It was about £2.50 in a charity shop, and I was like, I don't know why, but I need this book. There's something about it. There's a message here that I need to investigate and see. And a lot of the images in this book remind me of the Cave of Sybil Oracle, which I'm working with currently. This kind of thing really reminds me of the Cave of Sybil Oracle. Now, I promise you, I'm not sponsored by Tira May. I purchased this with my own money, off of my own back. I just felt really drawn to it. I felt it had something to really offer and help and give me within my practice. So this is what I was talking about. And this artwork is just so raw and potent and primordial, and it's just, honestly, it's such a journey. So anyway, I kind of was looking at the images when I got home, obviously, because I just had a quick flick, and I just felt there was something about the book I needed to bring it back with me. I needed to purchase it and bring it home with me. Anyway, so when I got home, I was looking, obviously I flicked through it like this and was like, this kind of reminds me of this image, and then I started from the front page and was working through it. And now don't panic, don't worry, everything's okay, but I've been feeling really drawn to Lucifer, sorry. I've got too many deities names on the brain. And I think I did mention in the Called from Deity video that when I was hearing the name of that deity, my ears would prick up, and I would find that I'd have that like almost like a bit of a nudge, and I was like, oh, why am I finding that name, intriguing, or why am I interested in that? And it was a bit of the same way with Lucifer. And maybe this is quite a usual development with the thought that I'm currently working with the Devil card this year. Maybe it's a normal development. I'm doing a bit of research into the Devil card, and Lucifer, as you know, would obviously come up, but it hasn't particularly. I've been looking at the Devil, my own inner Devil, and what that means for me. I've been looking at the Devil as a singular figure, what it represents within me, and the chains that I'm holding myself bound to, instead of like the cloven hooved figure. Anyway, so when this picture came up, I was like, oh, Lucifer the Lightbringer. That's really interesting, because I had just purchased, or just gotten home, the second-hand version of the William Blake tarot, which I don't know why I felt drawn to purchase this until I got it home, and then I suddenly started feeling a real draw to work with it for something very specific, which I'm going to go into in a second. And this artwork is also by William Blake. With dreams upon my bed, they'll scarest me, and affrights me with visions. And this is artwork by William Blake. And this just really, really intrigued me. Now, I decided to bring forward the Cave of Sybil Oracle, and for the first time, pull a card around a specific intention. Now, previously I haven't done that with this deck. What I've done is I've gone through the artwork and allowed the image to speak to me intuitively. So, for instance, if I come upon this and I'm like, oh, that really sparks something within me, then I've pulled this out and worked with it. Whereby this time I kind of had this this thought with, I was just so taken aback that this image, because I hadn't seen this when I was looking at the book at the charity shop, and I was just so like, oh, okay. I was just so taken aback. It was another synchronicity to Lucifer. And so I decided to pull a card, just in the moment, and I pulled this card, which obviously, to me, really speaks of this image. Now, sorry, just going back to I just want to show you you might have seen the Cave of Sybil Oracle. There aren't so many images that match this. I mean, there are obviously there's the theme, this chthonic theme running through the deck, but there aren't so many images with like this winged figure in it. Okay, there's this one. But you get the general idea. So when I pulled this, and it felt it really resonated with this image of Lucifer the Lightbringer. And when I was talking about the Cave of Sybil Oracle very recently, this card had been really intriguing me. I felt a real draw to it. This is Taboo, which is perfect, I think, for this devil figure. And I've been really feeling drawn to this skull, which I was actually shown by my deity in a meditation previous to this, which is why this synchronicity also kind of was like, oh, okay. And this is Law. And then when I was going through the deck in one of my videos, this really sparked an interest for me, because I was already feeling drawn to Lucifer the Lightbringer, and depending on what you believe or what you've read about Lucifer and the devil, here we've got this figure with horns, and they're carrying this torch, it feels like to me, and this is Lua. So that's kind of where I've been pulled to. So just to say, I'm not clued up on this whole Lucifer the Lightbringer mythology or story. So I'm kind of what's the word? Stabbing in the dark here. But this was one of the first books I read or started to read. This is The Flowering Wand, Rewilding the Sacred Masculine. This was a book that I had on my bookshelf again, and I wanted to read. And it was a book that I saw on Tarot Readings from a Bitch, on their channel. And I was just so intrigued. And if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I've got a bit of trauma around the masculine. So that's why I purchased this book. And when this kind of Lucifer archetype started intriguing me, or the devil archetype started intriguing me, I started to go to this book and read this, and you know, become very interested in. And it was very interesting to read. Sorry, and I was thinking about this whole fallen angel mythology surrounding Lucifer, which kind of pricked my ears up again and made me think about the fallen angel that I was feeling really that I felt really drawn to back at the end of last year in my own practice, in connection with the inner mausoleum work that I was doing. Now, I couldn't put my finger on whether it was a facet of self that was my fallen angel or something else, but I know there was the fallen angel in the background of the work I was doing, because I remember clearly, obviously, you know, creating this artwork around the fallen angel, and the Tarot V, which I really love, which I use for shadow work. There was a lot of angel imagery in that, and I even purchased the back in December, the Fallen Angel Oracle, which is obviously, well, not obviously, but the fallen angels can also be thought of as demons. So don't panic. But as well as feeling really drawn to Lucifer and the devil, I'm also really feeling drawn to the fallen angels, or the ancients, or depending if you want to call them demons, you can do that, and to, you know, the ancients as well. So the next books coming up are going to be based around this practice that I really want to dive into and deep dive into. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be working with any energy that, you know, to open myself up to anything, you know, silly, because, you know, I'm savvy. I'm clued up. You know, I'm not going to be a silly Billy. So this is just a deep dive I want to do. So this is the first book I purchased, Lucifer, exploring the archetype and origins of the devil, with this fallen angel facet. Now, this book is got coloured illustrations, and I haven't even dipped into it because I've got these books. I think I got them on Thursday or Friday. I've been waiting for quite a while, and I was like, when are these books going to show up? I want to start reading them. And here we've got some more William Blake artwork here. The Red Dragon. I'm sure that's William Blake's artwork. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure it is. Yeah, and then, you know, we've got like, what's the word? Working with the pride as this scene, and we were looking at, you know, Dante's Inferno within that practice as well. And it's I spoke about the red thread that I'm trying to untangle, and I feel that, you know, I feel it's all intertwined. It's all weaving its way and threading its way through all the work that I'm doing in my practice at the minute. So anyway, can't wait to read this one. Then I also got The Secret History of Lucifer, the Ancient Bringer of Light Revealed. The reason that Lucifer, the Light Bringer, also really resonates for me is something else, which is there is a real synchronicity between the deity I'm working with and Lucifer. That's also what made me prick up my ears and think, oh, okay. Awakening Lucifer. This is another book that I've purchased. And the last one, which is not Lucifer related, this is a book by Jason Miller, which I've also had my eye on for a wee while, Consulting with Spirits, which I would really like to have a read through. Your Guide to Working with Invisible Allies. Don't worry, I'm not, as mentioned, going to be, you know, hurling myself into working with anything that I am not prepared or ready to work with, I promise. And then these were the decks that I also purchased to help me with this work, because obviously, as I mentioned, once I started thinking about the fallen angels, and I started looking into, if you want to call them demons, I'm going to call them ancients. I also purchased the Demon Tarot, which is not, I wouldn't say this is really a tarot. This is the deck that showed up this morning with the Turning the Tides Tarot. Really juicy guidebook. Looking forward to getting into that. And these are the cards. Now, again, I haven't done any research, so I can't tell you anything. But what I think I can kind of tell you, semi, is that these images are from a book which I think is connected to the Key of Solomon. Don't quote me because I haven't read anything. I'm just telling you what my basic understanding is, which is basically nothing. Hence the reason I'm going to be, you know, looking into it. And these obviously are the same as the Fallen Angels, obviously, but this is just, you know, this is to make it more palatable, I feel, with the Fallen Angel twang. You know, these are the same. These are the same as this. Demons, Fallen Angels, Ancients. You know, it's a choice of language, I think. So anyway, yes, I want to look into this, and then I also got the Occult Tarot, which is a smaller version of the tin. This comes in a full version as well. Now, I heard that the guidebook isn't very good on this one, but I don't know. Obviously, it's the same artwork because it's from the same... I don't want to say like a dictionary, but I want to say like a collection of illustrations of the demons. And this has got their sigils on it as well. And again, you know, how you would work with them, or, you know, but don't worry. As mentioned, everything's okay. It's all okay. Don't worry. Don't be nervous. I'm just looking into it. I'm just deep diving it. You know, knowledge is power. You know, the more you know, the less, hopefully, the less what's the word? The less trouble you'll get into. I hope. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe you know, the more knowledge you know, the more you can misuse it. But I'm promising you, I'm not going to be misusing any knowledge that I gain. But that's the plan. That's the plan for May. Wasn't it a bit of a heavy month? I wanted to start with the, you know, the light and gentle decks, and then I went, you know, balls to the wall with the Ancients and the Lucifer plans that I've got going on. I'm going to pop a picture in here as well of a beautiful piece of wood that I actually found back at the beginning of the year when the Devil card started really resonating for me, obviously because it's my card of the year, and the snow started to melt, and this piece of beautiful wood came forward once the snow had melted, and it's actually really big. It's actually I'm probably like 5'6", and this piece of wood is the same height as me, so it's a really big branch, and it really reminded me of the horns, which I'm going to show you here now. Did you see this right here? And it reminded me of the Devil card from the what's it called? The deck I really love, which I want to call Wandering the Sweet Fool Tarot. It's not called that. It's called Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot. Why can I never remember the name of that deck? Anyway, it reminded me of that card, and so because of this red thread that's running through my practice, you know, and weaving its way, and like it's like slightly, I don't want to say tangled, but it's like gathered. It's like having red thread gathered in your palm, and you don't know where it starts and where it ends. I added the red thread to the base of the wood, and it sits beside my desk. I can see it from where I'm sitting now, and it's like this constant reminder of this red thread that I'm untangling or pulling at throughout this year. It's very exciting work. So I'm so looking forward to May. I need to get my finger out because, you know, obviously we're 3 days in already. Do I have anything else to tell you? I don't think I do. I think I've got enough on my plate. I think I've got a plate spinning here, and a plate spinning there, and a plate spinning here. So I think I've got enough to keep little old me busy for the month of May. What are you doing for May? Let me know in the description box, or the comment section. I would love to know. Have you done any work, you know, with anything that I've mentioned, that I've spoken about in this video? Let me know. As mentioned, don't worry, don't be a fearmonger. It's all good in the hood. Everything's going to be fine. I promise you. That's it. We're done. We're dusted, I think. I'm going to wish you a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Take care, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Toodaloo.